China is currently battling with record rainfall, with the capital city Beijing and northern parts of the country drowning in floods. Typhoon Doksuri, which tore through the Pacific last week, still continues to cause disruption, triggering thousands of evacuations in the country. The situation is so intense in the second most populous country in the world that the Weather Service officials released a statement on Tuesday saying that the Chinese capital Beijing had received the heaviest rainfall in over 140 years since the inception of record-keeping.
根据现场情况，救援人员驾驶橡皮艇和冲锋舟将13名。
I have never seen any rain like this in more than 40 years. We saw people online saying that the bridge in Liuli River Park was flooded. As we often come here to have fun, we wanted to see it with our own eyes.
The question being, how severe was the rainfall? The amount of rainfall since Saturday has breached many local weather records. A reservoir in Beijing's Changping district logged rainfall reading of 744.8 millimeters, which is roughly about 29.3 inches between Saturday and Wednesday, exceeding the previous record of 609 millimeters, which was set in 1891. The persistent downpour has now prompted Beijing officials to use flood storage reservoir for the first time since its establishment 25 years ago in order to divert the flood water. But the question being, how did the extreme rain happen? Let me explain that to you in the next few minutes. According to the Chinese Weather Department, besides the remnants of Doksuri, the warm and humid air flows and water vapor brought by Typhoon Khanun in the western Pacific created conditions for heavy rains. As the residual circulation of Doksuri's rain clouds head north, a subtropical and continental high-pressure system in the atmosphere blocked their north and eastward passage, leading to the continuing convergence of water vapor that acted like a dam storing the water. And as multiple regions of China are reeling under floods, the Chinese authorities recently announced that multiple typhoons will make landfall or influence the weather systems across the nation. The torrential rains up until Wednesday claimed the lives of at least 20 people, while 27 people remained missing. According to the rescue officials, that is, more than 52,000 people have been evacuated from Beijing, and in the Fangshan district, over 60,000 residents suffered power outages. For more on this, we have with us Dr. Pan Peter, who is a typhoon and weather expert, and he joins us live from Taipei. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, Dr. Peter.
No problem.
Now, Dr. Peter, Beijing continues to reel under incessant rainfall, and this is the worst in nearly 140 years.
Right. I think you just mentioned the reason, the public knowing reason of why the flash flood occurred in Beijing and northern China. You know, there's always perfect reason for flash flood, and we have to admit the climate change has been our daily life right now. And every 1 degree Celsius raise in the atmosphere actually brings 6% more moisture in the air. And when typhoon make a landfall in the mainland China and keep moving northward, it retain vortex form, which suck in the moisture to the northern China. And luckily or unluckily, there are two mountain range actually block the moisture, which enhance the flash flood in the northern China. We all know in Pacific region, July to October is the hot season of typhoon. We definitely will see more typhoons happen in the Pacific Ocean. And as I mentioned, the sea surface temperature as well as the air temperature has been, has raised regularly high. So the extreme weather or extreme events definitely will occur more often, and we should admit the disaster that we are facing forward. Probably just like a flash flood, drought,
Right.
and extreme temperature, like extreme high or extreme low, and that'll be our daily life. And we people have to realize um, this is this will become normal in the future.
Right, Dr. Peter. Like you mentioned that there will be more typhoons in China. The Chinese officials have also raised an alarm, cautioning that China will likely face multiple typhoons in August. My question to you is that how prepared is China at the moment, keeping in mind the devastation that Typhoon Doksuri has already caused?
Well, how to prevent? The mother nature is always is unpredictable, but we know there will be some typhoons. Typhoon may make landfall in the mainland China, as well as make landfall in Korea or Japan. That's the normal route for most of the typhoons happen in the Pacific Ocean. And how to prevent the disaster? Well, we have learned from previous typhoon cases that some human actions can be done before typhoon has to make landfall. We have to do it in detail.
Right.
That's one thing. The second thing is we have to build a resilient society, which means people need to know what's really happened in the future, and we are not changing. We have to accustom. We have to used to. We have to used to it because this will become our daily life. The extreme weather is happen more frequently than ever.
Right, Dr. Peter. We also spoke about how Typhoon Doksuri is now moving northwards. My question to you is that will it bring any kind of relief to China, and which are the other countries that can get affected with Typhoon Doksuri?
The story has weakened quite a lot. It maintained as a vortex. I don't think the bad situation has already passed, and I think the society need to recover as soon as fast. And the record flash flood won't happen again, but we need to know what will be the next event, and that's what we need to be watching out.
Right, Dr. Peter. Thank you so much for joining us on WION and sharing your insights with us on Typhoon Doksuri. We'll of course be tracking this very closely here.